fantasy, let the stories feed your soul. Hear the echoes, find the patterns, every truth, each hidden role. From the bench to the whispers, where the gavel takes its toll. There's a rhythm in the verdict, echoes from the cubby hole. Echoes, echoes from the cubby hole, where justice swings and stories unfold. Echoes, echoes, feed your soul. We're talking truth from the cubby hole.
Welcome, everyone, back to your favorite cubbyhole on the internet. The end of the weekend has arrived, but on the plus side, we are getting ready for a holiday weekend, so it's all good. Hopefully, many of you have a shorter week this week. I do. I at least get a couple days off, for which we're grateful. I don't get that very often, and I don't take it very often. So when I get the chance, because usually I'm working holidays, it's the occupational hazard of what I do for the hard-earned breadsticks that I have to earn here with two jobs. But again, yet again, again and again and again, until he can't stand me any longer, we have the one and only Jeep Daddy joining me today. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How the
I
heck
know
are you, Echoes?
we've had a busy weekend.
No
There's no
kidding.
rest for the wicked. I must
No.
be super wicked today because now I've got the internet. Well, they're not hopping mad at me, but I think they might be a little bit hopping mad at Stacy Lee. I'm not going to take all the credit for it, however. We just looked at some things and pointed some things out. But I'm going to be fair because we didn't finish it off. There's about 6 minutes left of the thing.
Oh,
So
Lord.
we're going to yeah, I know you're excited already, aren't you? We're going to
You
finish
didn't tell
it
me
off.
about this part, so,
Well, I told you I wasn't going to tell you everything. What did you
this is
expect?
what I get for giving up my Sunday evening. Okay, but that's fine.
Are you sure you don't want to go get a glass of wine? Some other people in chat already have. Okay, never mind. You're fine. You've
fine.
got that. You'll be fine.
Yep.
So we've evidently stirred among the Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens community, also known tangentially as the Victims of Laura Owens community, which is practically the same thing, and the Justice for Clayton community. You know, we're all big one happy family, regardless of which branch of that whole thing you decide to select. But as we covered on Friday, and we only covered about the first 21 and a half minutes of Stacy Lee from Dark Hearts, who talked a little bit about Owens v. Echard. And it has not only created a stir in response on her own channel for the very impassioned following who follow this case a bit more closely than she does, it would seem. It also opened up Reddit threads on the JFC, the Justice for Clayton Reddit. So I guess I've done something, haven't I?
There certainly does seem to be like a pile of kerosene just tossed into the already burning pile. So, hey.
I mean, I know people get excited when I get flustered, but I was only pointing out what was obvious because, there were lots of problems. And to make matters worse, not only did she get defensive in her comment section and kind of got a little pissy, she's entitled to do what she wants on her channel. I'll first give that one. She can do it however she wants. She can just make up stories if she wants to. And if that's what, if that's what gets you what you want, then whatever. It's yours to do. It's the First Amendment. But where I was having the problem was in some of the factual details, because that's what was getting lost. There were a lot of assertions. There was a lot of, like we said last time, a lot of fluffed up stuff. And a lot of other people in her comment section were saying the same things. It's like, well, you missed
we
this
weren't
point.
the only ones to say that?
I
Wow.
know. See, so I'm not going to take total credit for having stirred anything, because there are thousands, if not tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people following this case of Laura Owens, such that now that it's hit mainstream media with all of the 14 currently felony indictments for Laura Owens on various forms of fraud, perjury, tampering with evidence, impersonation, among other things, there's going to be more eyes looking at it and new eyes, which in some regards, it's a good thing. I'm okay with that. I don't have ownership of this. If anybody has ownership of it, and I'll also give Stacy Lee the credit here, it would probably be Dave Neal. But this thing has gotten so big with so many people talking about it because as I've said before, the rising tide floats all boats unless you have holes in your boat like Laura Owens and David Gingras. And that's okay. They can sink themselves. That's their problem, not mine. So it's not that more eyes on it are a bad thing. It's just, how do they choose to represent the stories? And with Stacy Lee on her channel, and this is kind of what she does. It's a high-level approach. She's only in it to tell the story. And as she says many times on her comment section, she's really not interested in the details, and neither is her audience. So she fairly consistently, at least in her comments, admits that she does what she does for her audience. And it's about the storytelling. No one cares about the details, is how I interpreted that. But then she starts in her comments talking about details. And the details she tries to assert are factual are also incorrect when she tries to share details in her comments. And someone else brought this to my attention earlier today. Another, I assume, a subscriber who condensed a lot of her responses to people on her comment section and distilled them down in an enormous long post on the comments of Friday's live comment section. And I read through that and went, oh gosh, there's a lot here. Well, just to cover my ass, maybe we should talk about it a little bit. No one really fires shots at me, and even if they did, I'm over that. It's not a big deal. People can criticize me all they want. I get that all the time. My detractors do much worse things, but we're not going to talk about them today. So we're used to having shots fired in our direction. That's not new. And if anyone hasn't figured it out, if you're going to work in this space of content creation, especially in video form or even just audio form, be prepared for the knives and the forks to come after you at some point. Even if you're fine, even if you're getting things right, you're doing all the details. There's always crazy people, right?
Oh, of course. And there's always like that old trope of like never read the comments. Like that absolutely stands because like there's not going to be anything. I see this with all the other YouTube creators that I watch out there. Of like, doesn't matter what the subject matter is, whether it's this, whether it's farming, whether it's like wrenching on cars or music or anything. Like
everyone has opinions.
Everybody's got opinions. You're not going to please everyone. And you change that format, or like, oh, I like the car restoration videos, and then like a certain segment don't like that, and so they want to go see, moving the cattle from field A to field B, and then all the car people are just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't change the channel format, and it's just like, whatever, just fuck it. Yeah.
And I would say with all of those people who are going to interact, because for me, that's the point of social media and platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It's not just, boom, I put it out there and you just have to take it. I mean, that's why they build comment sections.
Yes,
that's why they engineer these things the way they do. The whole point of the system and the structure is to have the interaction. That's what feeds the algorithms.
Engagement.
Yes. I mean, is that an
doesn't matter what it
algorithm-based
is.
things? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously like and subscribe to Echo's channel and do the things, but like that plus subscribing plus doing the commenting, that all feeds that algorithm to bubble this crap, to the top, not our crap. I mean, maybe it's crap. I don't know, but like everybody's
it's crap that is of some value, or I wouldn't have a steady tick of growth with this channel.
Exactly,
I would be going through kind of the growth woes that Stacy actually talks about. And, that's why I want to finish what she's saying here. And it may drive some of you crazy. I'm sorry, chat. There's only about 6 minutes left. But what she finishes her video with gives us a little bit of insight into why she's doing things the way she is. And it would be unfair to me to leave that unsaid and to, just say it and say, well, this is how she's doing it and why. Let's let her use her own words, not only what she says in her video at the end, but also in how she responds in her comments. And if we're really bored, we can even see what Reddit says on the GFC Reddit. But I don't know if we need to go that far. There was a lot. There was a lot of response. She was somewhat defensive to a number of people who were pushing. I wouldn't characterize it as being rude, because in the comment section, I would say 2 to 5% of your potential comments are probably going to be trolls just to stir shit. I don't know if that's an accurate number. I'm making that number up, and I will admit I'm making that number up. Just observation based upon what I've experienced after doing this for a couple years now. Well, longer than that, if I consider all of my earliest YouTube ventures that didn't go anywhere, and I just pulled the plug on them eventually. This is attempt number 5, and we're actually making some traction. So I must be doing something sort of okay. I don't know. I mean, we can even at least admit that we have expensive microphones. So, it's all to my favor.
Totally. And hey, if it's entertaining in the third act of our videos, that I'm apparently losing pickles over certain video streams and things.
I love you losing your pickles.
Yes, I haven't quite lost them yet. I'm not quite there yet, but
Well, I think we found your pickles yesterday at the Pew Pew range. I think that's where we found them. They were scattered all over the floor.
Yeah, they were all over the floor and several holes and things. So yes.
Okay, I won't get too specific about that time because YouTube gets a little fussy about it. But I will say to everybody in chat, someone owns a 357, right? Is that right?
That is correct.
A short length Pew Pew. I didn't come up with the right analogy last night, but that little moment with Will Smith and the cricket in Men in Black. Why do I get the little girl gun? That little Pew Pew will kind of kick your ass a little bit. He made me fire one off.
Only
Just
one.
one. And that was enough. I was like, okay, and we're done. And scene.
That was
I was very content with the 9mm. That was kind of my happy zone, and trying a few things there was okay. That one and all of the armpit cannons next to us was, oh my God. Can they not separate out those people put them over there? And, just the little pew pew people can be over, so you're not like getting knocked on your ass.
Well, originally that's what I thought because there's 3 main rooms in there with 6 bays each. And I thought that was the design, was like this bay is for certain types. And then like there's this one and then like the other one and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, no. You just go. And if you end up like having, that concussive sort of like boom, whatever. It's just because there's
I should have walked out when you were shooting the shit outside, and there was that one guy, and he was just going to town. I was like, oh, I feel this in places that are too personal. And then TX
just kind of tickle a little
I'll
bit,
give you my 0.44. No, hard pass. Thank you so much, but I'll stick to the little girl people pew pews. God, I'm gonna say it.
He's all flustered now. That's great.
No, and if I do wish to exert my Second Amendment more than I've ever considered, because in some part to my detractors and the craziness of the world, I'm going to have to get something brightly colored and ostentatious, just because the joke is worth half the fun.
As one slight tangent, just before we get back into this, I do appreciate that you admitted that was not as scary and as unapproachable.
I think my initial intrepidation was actually going in there and watching the video. It's like, oh God, I don't want to slip up on some safety thing and get kicked out. But they are so well, I don't want to say laxed. That gives the wrong image. But everyone there is already so mindful. I mean, there were lots of. I think there was at least one off-duty officer that came in. There were lots of either current or former military, because I saw their bags. They had all of their cases, and and their they weren't camo bags, but the Desert Storm yellow desert bags.
The vibe was definitely there. Yeah,
and there were several that had the same sort of bag. So I was like, okay, there's people that are far more knowledgeable and confident with this stuff than I am, but. You get used to just sort of the procedure of you have your stuff there, it's in the lane, that's where you do everything, and you're always going in one direction, and the only time that ever changes is when you've got stuff put away and you're getting out. So the safety factor was reassuring. Yes. And it's like, okay, I just got to keep things going that way, even just kind of loading stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a little nervous when it jammed once, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's
okay,
fine.
That's
shit happens.
But you're comfortable fixing that. I was nervous about trying to clear that. You did it. It was fine. We carried on, and we had another good hour and a half. So
yeah,
nearly 3 hours playing with pew pews, folks. So there you go. Yep. Can I get I should get a merit badge for that. And I didn't do half bad, did I? I did
You
okay for a
actually,
first timer with
you did
little girl
pretty
things.
doggone good, and you tried out a few different pieces, and that was fantastic. So you kind of got a little bit of a flavor of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I think I know where I
And
would go shopping,
and as
just based on the
time
feel.
as time goes on and you practice more, distance and the type of thing that you're using, like both of those things combine into like just increasing your skill set.
Yeah.
And we will definitely find a time to go and do
Yeah, I think I
a
want to do a
class.
class or
And
two.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Just more maybe for confidence than anything. It's like,
yeah,
okay, when you're using these things, think about how you stand and how you breathe and how you do all those things
yes,
that get you accurate results.
yes. And
And
PSA for anybody listening to any of this: take the goddamn classes.
yeah.
Go practice. This is not the Wild West, okay?
Oh,
Like
please, for the love of
that's
God.
for the love of God, this is not that, or the gods, or whatever you believe in. This is not that anymore. Yeah,
Pick your deity of choice, as I think Hey
yes.
Rob says.
But yes, definitely like go be an informed and responsible person. You never mix this with that activity. Obviously, like, so I mean, don't be stupid, but go out and get the proper training, get the practice, and it's not as scary as you may think. And
No.
study the laws in your home zip codes.
Yep. Yep. And
Be aware.
and in all fairness and credit to myself, I was sort of indifferent about the idea. People assume, oh, you're of a certain political persuasion, so you're not going to even want to do that. Oh, hell no, folks. With what I see in the world and what I've experienced in the last year or so,
Hmm.
I'm thinking about a CCP. I really am, because enough has happened where it's like, there's
Hmm.
enough crazy people, and some of them have said they want to come after me. So there's a reason we still have a Second Amendment, and you can make judgments about that there are better ways to solve conflicts in the world than just by using the Second Amendment. And I think that's
Yeah.
true. It should be a last resort.
Yes.
So for what
And the,
that's, I'm
yep.
rambling. It's
And the
Sunday.
way that Washington state laws are, where at least I live anyway, they certainly support it being a last resort. You cannot just do that as the first thing. You have to have uh, imminent threat and all that fun stuff in order to use deadly force. And that doesn't include, like in the movies, like, oh, I'm not going to shoot him in the face. I'm going to shoot him in the knee, and that's fine. Like, at least in
Yeah, in
Washington,
the foot. Like
yeah, that's
dance,
still classified
dance.
as dance,
Like
bitch. Like, yeah. So
like Back to the Future. And he
yeah,
starts
yeah.
shooting at his feet.
Yeah. So warning shots are bullshit. Shooting in the feet or the knees or anything that's not mortally wounding is still considered deadly force. So you still have to make sure that you are well justified and that the threat is imminent. You can't just be like, I'm going to go and like run and chase somebody down. And like, no, that's not going to pass. Like, you will end up
Yeah, you don't want to
in
risk
big shit.
prosecution thinking that
So
defense
be
is
fucking
defense is
smart.
defense. Yeah.
You have to just be like, and that's where that training comes in, because like emotions and adrenaline, suddenly if you have a big adrenaline drop and something is just like off you go, like you can fuck yourself pretty badly. And so you need to check and make sure that you're in line and what you're doing and what your intents are copacetic with what it is you're actually trying to do and the laws that exist.
Right.
It might just be better to have a big baseball bat and blow their knee out instead of trying to shoot them. But I'm not advocating for violence, obviously, but somebody's going to come and try and steal my shit. Then I'm going
Yes.
to protect my life and safety and
There
my
you
friends and
go.
family and everything. So that is my right to do so.
And as IB 0093 says, I'm a city girl and have never held a pew pew. Well, I can't say that because Boy Scouts.
And that's okay. Like
Because Boy Scouts.
you don't have to
But
be raised out on a farm or in the urban
long
or
ones
the rural
versus short
areas.
ones are a different animal. They're a
Yeah.
very different animal. And it was
Yep.
funny watch. I shouldn't keep digressing into this because we've got stuff to cover, but it was interesting. I mean, and I did enjoy
Hmm.
myself. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, I get why people like this. I get it. You get a
Hmm.
little bit of a rush from that. And it's like, oh, hey, this thing gives you some
Yeah.
kickback response. And it's a little bit of, work trying to get your aim good. And it's like, oh, hey, this is duck hunt real life. So
Yeah, it's like
I get it. I get
That's
it.
exactly what I was just gonna say. It's like duck hunt for real. And some people
Yes.
just like going and doing the range thing. Like
Yeah.
get a low grade membership, like do the needful, take the classes, and then just go rent a piece and go enjoy a couple hours at the range, and then go home and do nothing else. and then go back to the range in a month or whatever you want to do, and go have some fun, be responsible, and then go home and literally never own. Like, that's
Yeah.
okay. That is okay.
Take the safety course. Absolutely, TX.
God damn right.
For sure. And before you can even walk into the range, they require you to sign your life away and to watch about a 7-minute video about some of the universal rules of safety and all those kinds of things. And that's good for everybody to know, starting out or experienced. You know, you want to be responsible, and that's the whole.
They even
Point.
They even made my friend, who's a former police officer, watch that damn video, and
I believe it.
she's got way more experience than most people walking the planet, especially with handheld
hundreds
firearms.
Of hours, probably just out of the academy, I would assume.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And like this particular location still makes you do that because they just simply don't fuck around with that stuff, and that's the kind of place and establishment you want to find.
And it's everyone's very
in
respectful.
My less than humble opinion.
And it was, I was watching some camaraderie. There were some people kind of, hey, you've got that. Oh, do you mind if I try that a couple times? And it's just interesting to see the interest, and I'll even say the care that people take into being interested in what other people are trying and using and exploring. And, you know, it's a whole nother hobby for certain class of people. I don't think I'll ever go that far, but I'm interested in enough for safety reasons. And that's enough for me to pursue it. I think my father would be so proud. I should tell him that I did it. I haven't told him I've done that yet. He'd probably say, "Oh, why? Why did you do that?" Then I'll have to get into the whole long story. But
like, who are you? Like, are you really?
Well, you know, because I hated to go out with him hunting, because he had an arm cannon, and it was just without hearing protection. It's just obnoxious. And with my sensitive ears as a kid. Like Laura Owens, who couldn't stand hearing squeaky shit. Sorry, I've been listening to Melissa Jade's. Melissa Jade has been reading the Laura Owens Medium blogs. We should just call them the Laura Owens files. So I was listening to that back and forth, in and out of work. And I will say, since that came up the other day, someone in chat, I think, was sort of trying to besmirch Melissa Jade. Melissa's done an okay job. She's been reading some of those old Medium blogs by Laura, and some of them are kind of dramatic readings, which is very entertaining. And she's got, in my view, from what I've heard so far, and it's only been a couple episodes, she's done a little bit better job than I think Stacy Lee did. And that's just my opinion, but I think it's a factual one, because Stacy missed some opportunities. And so, shall we finish that off? I want to be fair to Stacy. And since apparently I've stirred some shit all over the internet by talking about her, let's finish it off. Because Stacy, when you give her a chance, that's not and this is not an apology to Stacy. I'm not justifying the things she gets wrong. She explains more of her motivation, and I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And it's her right to do what she wants on her channel. And if she wants to go after people in the comment section, okay.
That's absolutely her choice. But yeah, everybody grab your glass of your preferred beverage.
Grab your popcorn. If you haven't had dinner yet, or if you've had dinner, grab your popcorn. Or if you want ice cream, it should be dessert hour right about now.
Yes.
So I don't know. Oh, darn it. Okay, I need to buy a new keyboard. This thing's going to piss me off. Every time I look in the wrong place, my volume just jumps to nothing. Stupid piece of junk. Okay, I won't besmirch who made it because I'm just annoyed. But all right, so let's go back to Stacy. We'll finish it off, and I'm going to bite my tongue. Okay, I think I can do that for 6 minutes. Can you?
I think I can too. Yeah, probably. So, if you just want to focus the screen on that, and
we'll make her full screen, and then we'll come back and sum up, and then we'll see how she reacted to herself in the comments, and people pushing back to what she was saying, which I think are valid points of view by people in her comments. So here we go, folks. So brace yourselves. Here's the end of where we began.
Quietly began to shut its eyes. The law has to go back to the law, a case assembled by people with forensic certifications, not ring lights. They were looking at image hashes, metadata integrity, sworn records, and IP trace logs. Every screenshot Laura Owens allegedly provided, every file she saved, every date stamp she touched, those all became witnesses against her. Meanwhile, Dave Neal, bless his industrious soul, teased a possible interview with someone close to the defense, which in modern media language could mean anything from a paralegal to a barista who once saw Laura Owens order a latte. It's not malicious. It's just what the internet does. Narrates chaos as if it has a season pass to destiny. By the time summer sun baked the Arizona asphalt into shimmering mirages and the courthouse AC units hummed, the story had escaped its human subjects. It didn't belong to the lawyers anymore. It belonged to the public. A woman, a bachelor star, faked ultrasounds, felony counts, and a trial pending. A nation of keyboard crusaders ready to decide a fate before the jury even sat down. Nothing, absolutely nothing, terrifies a modern defendant more. The Arizona Supreme Court briefly entered the chat in August 2025, and like a busy parent stepping over its siblings fighting, simply denied any sort of commentary. And while the world watched on and Reddit threads went crazy, TikTok made videos, the court made a ruling. After Laura Owens was indicted on several felony charges, a trial date was set for October 23rd, 2025. And I set this story to bring to you after the trial. But guess what? It got pushed back. I had it all planned out. I was going to watch the trial and then bring you the episode a couple of weeks later, but it hasn't happened yet. Clayton Echard gave an interview when the civil case was dismissed and said the nightmare is over. And it really is for him, but for Laura Owens, it's just beginning. I mean, she could end up doing actual time for these lies. She altered an ultrasound image, fabricated a pregnancy video, and lied multiple times under oath. And like I said earlier, I think they're going out of their way to make an example of her. And I'm okay with that. Honestly, I am. You've heard me say it a million times. Women that hurt other women, I'm not here for it. And this type of behavior hurts other women. Of course, it hurts the men that are targeted the most. And that in and of itself is a good reason for her to be prosecuted. But this behavior does hurt other women who have these actual issues, you know? So the episode will be a little shorter than I had planned because I plan to bring you up to speed on what happened during the trial. And you know I will bring you an update when it finally takes place. I kind of smell a plea deal. I don't think she's going to risk a lot of prison time, but you can go to prison for lying under oath. This is kind of an unusual true crime story, but I felt like it was important to talk about because I think we're going to see more of this. I think we're going to see more people using AI to try and fabricate evidence. So while this isn't an intricate murder story, I think it's an important one in the true crime community. I've played around a little bit with AI, and I've told you guys I do use it sometimes to verify facts, especially on brand new stories where the information is kind of hard to come by. And it did not take me very long to get pretty good with it. I'm even using it to help me come up with some ideas for the artwork for my new podcast. And you would not believe how easy it is to use. So for me, it's important to talk about stories where people have used AI and fake digital evidence to try to corner somebody. And this is just a paternity suit. Think about it in a murder case, you know, or a more serious crime. I thought it was important to talk about, and I figured you guys would as well. So I'll bring you an update when we have one. As for now, I am glad this man's nightmare is over with. And I also want to highlight the fact that men are victims of crimes like this as well. I think more than ever, it's important to talk about men who are victimized because of the nature of the society that we live in now. When someone comes for your neck publicly and tries to ruin your life, they have all of these tools now on social media to do it with. And we've got to govern those tools, talk about those tools, explore the ramifications of misusing those tools. And yeah, I think that's going to become a much larger conversation in the true crime world. Laura Owens, you made some really bad decisions. Other people paid for them. And now it's time that you do as well. Thank you for joining me today on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. I sure appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. It means the world to me when you guys watch. And your comments, especially lately, just have been, you've been so supportive about the fact that the channel is finally growing a little bit. There have been more times than I want to admit to you where I have thought about never making another video. We've got a little momentum now, but that's happened before and then stopped. Fingers crossed. I have big goals here. I want to raise money, and the kind of money I want to raise takes a lot of people. So we are moving forward. We are plugging along like the good little pioneer children that we are. Don't forget about my podcast. It's on Apple and Spotify. I post brand new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. And speaking of the money that we want to raise, this is our fundraiser. If you watch this video on my channel, on the playlist called Fundraisers, it will explain everything we're doing. Stay safe, my friends, and be kind to each other. And I will see you next time on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. Bye.
Okay.
Wow.
So we get some motivation there. See, this is why I wanted to finish it off, because there are some things I can agree with her on. Absolutely, the men are victims. That's first and foremost. And there's several men. It's not just Clayton Echard. It's it's the Mike Maricinis, the Greg Gillespies, the Andrews, the Matts, the others. There's probably more. I mean, the collateral damage of the total of men that Laura Owens has tried to extort or corner into a relationship is voluminous. We don't know the totality of that. We just kind of know the ones who've come forward, and some of the ones we don't, because there is some evidence that still sits out there. So, I mean, there are some things we can agree with her on, but again, she doesn't get all of the surrounding details correct. As others have said in chat, this is not an AI case. This was about manipulating photos, which is kind of old school. I mean, she's probably right. And I think I can agree with her there that people using AI to commit more and more crime is going to be a thing. I can't disagree with that. As an IT specialist, sir, what is your take on that?
Yeah, well, couple things. One, she's definitely not wrong. Like, and the comment that I saw scroll by in the chat about LO using Photoshop, that's basically the old school version now of what we understand AI to do, because that's where some of these deep fakes and things sort of show up, right? Is that was what came before and was very persistent for years, in the industry when Photoshop came around. Like, and yeah, people were stitching other people's heads and faces onto bodies, and creating fake porn stuff. And now basically like they're doing that. That's just happening with an AI system. So she's not entirely wrong in that respect, but like LO may just be not maybe using AI and the newest, greatest thing, because there's a lot of imperfections that come along with that. And I think that leads to my second point, with AI in particular, is that you cannot fact check with AI alone, because it is right now, in its most basic sense, a really, really fancy, big autocomplete. And it's going out there and trying to assume or interpret what it is based on what you put into the prompt, what it thinks you want to hear based on that prompt, and based on whatever memories it has about you or your history. So, like, that's why at the bottom of ChatGPT, it always says, no matter what model you're using, including the latest and greatest one at 5.1, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Always double check. So you can't, like, it is for anybody who is trying to present this stuff, and not just this, but I'm talking anything really, but this in particular, because of the nuances and because of how complex this thing is, you have absolutely got to check your facts when you put something in there. And for me, the way that I get around that is I have, when I put something into ChatGPT, I have it quote a source or two for almost each line. So if you're going to, if I'm like, look, if you're going to assert a fact about a thing, then I want a link to where you got that piece of information from, so that if I kind of get the, sort of thing going on, I can go back and I can look at where it got that piece of information from. So, like, there's a whole thing here that has to absolutely be a to-do. You can't you just can't like solely rely on that. But I mean, it's also like some of those creative things about creating deep fakes and, porn fakes and blah, 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 and like altering images and having it come up with things. I mean, hell, I've even asked ChatGPT to come up with a picture of like a cartoonish picture of my Jeep. And it's it's good enough for social media.
There's a trend we could capitalize, and this was going around, started by, I think, Megan Fox, who started this, but I think she got it from somewhere else, of everyone making Muppet avatars, like Jim Henson's Muppets. Mm-hmm. I haven't done one of myself yet. I've used others when I knew David Gingras was copyright striking everyone for using his very publicly available and fair use usable social media picture. Ducky is here. I see. Hi, Ducky. Ducky was, of course, targeted by David Gingras for doing that very thing, using his very publicly available and with fair use purposes, his picture. So I kind of skirted some of these accidentally, but doing Muppet avatars was a thing for a little while, and you should join the club.
I'm good. I'm basically just a Muppet anyway, so that's fine.
Well, I know, but I think once we do more stuff in the balcony, that could be more entertaining. And
do I really have a torso? Because all you've really seen is just like this part of me.
I know. See, all we need is like the little thing like Muppets do, and the little stick where they have all of that stuff,
all the marionette stuff like that. Yeah, that's fine.
There is a Muppet Gingy. I've got one. Go back into my videos. I've made a Muppet of Gingras the gingerbread getting pulled over by a cop and having an adult beverage in his hand. So that has been done. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone else has come up with that idea, but I can't be that original.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's hard to say, like, she was going on about this whole, like, this isn't an AI case. And no, it's not an AI case. This is like straight up like accusations of
kind
fraud
of old school
and all the things, right? So like, did LO
doctoring documents to look official, like medical records,
right,
and emails from doctors that they never wrote? It's a very old school kind of fraud.
Yeah,
at least that's the evidence we have before us.
Yeah, and did she use AI to generate that to make it sound more doctory or something like that? Maybe. Hopefully, that truth will come to light in a trial. And I can't fully fault her for saying that, like, the whole idea about like guilty before proven innocent, sort of thing. Like, yeah, that's like we, as at least in my less than humble opinion, Americans should respect the process of law, not like some of our dear leaders and menaces in certain powerhouses do, but like that's the whole point of trials, is theoretically to have all of the truth come out. And maybe she did use AI to do that. Maybe she did use Photoshop. Maybe she used Microsoft Paint, for crying out loud. Like, we don't know. And like, we just got to figure that out. And hopefully that truth will surface itself in the middle of those.
And as our justice system very clearly delineates, you're innocent until proven guilty. And that's true. Those of us, where I'll caveat that, is with those of us who've been here and following this for a while, we've seen the evidence as it has continued to roll in and have analyzed it, and other people of greater legal minds, people like the Emmy nominated, I can never get that right. Oh my God. The Emmy
still can't get it right.
Shoot me now.
No, that was yesterday.
Emmy nominated Rachel Juarez. See, I have to use the right tone of voice. I'll get there. I can get it right on video. I just can't do it live. See, this is what editing is for, folks. That's why I spent so much time making all those videos, and now I just make an ass of myself on a live. It's okay. It will give Omar something to giggle about later. Yeah. I'm not firing shots at Omar. Yeah. I promise.
So, I mean, and honestly, like, Stacy
Emmy
was
winning.
firing
Thank
shots.
you, Bruce. That's a little better for
Emmy
my mouth.
Winning. Stacy was firing shots at the quote keyboard warriors, and that's a real common trope that's pulled out by all sorts of people who, like the commentators and things, like, oh, it's fine if they're on, fixed news or, MSNBC or whatever, of like making said comments. Like, how is that any different from the keyboard, quote unquote, so-called keyboard warriors that are like coming around and actually like putting effort into making these videos and researching things, not just on ChatGPT, but also looking up case law and analyzing this stuff? Like, that's it. that there's still this snide sort of like undertone in that conclusion around how, oh, that's just, random people on the internet, sort of things. And it's like, no, there's actually some really skilled people and observant people who are making commentary about it. And that is our absolute flippin' right to do.
Yeah. And on some level, it was good that she admitted she uses AI. I mean, she uses it for her artwork. A lot of people do. I'm still a little bit old fashioned in that regard. I mean, I've got a sort of freeware thing where I slap a bunch of stuff together, sort of Photoshop style. So, and I make some AI images, things like the logo I've got in the corner. That's AI. We have conversations with AI because we're just lazy, and it can pick some fonts for us to make things look decent. So, but
here's the thing that goes with that is like I don't fancy myself to be a lazy person, despite like my neurospiciness. Like I just don't have a skill in creating art like that. So
right.
I am reliant on tools like the amount of
design
clip art
is an artistic skill set of its own.
Look, 20 years ago when I was putting together like documents and slides and stuff like that for like my side hustles for computer stuff, the amount of clip art that I had and used is probably enough to make anybody barf. So like That's because I can't do it myself. That's not my art. My art is something completely different. So I can't fault people for turning to tools like ChatGPT or Microsoft Designer or Gemini or these others to come up with and help us with these things. Where I have the issue is the like the IP theft stuff, and like I don't really agree with like that they should just be wholesale like stealing everybody like human art and doing. There's lots of rabbit holes we could go down about the arguments around like inspiration versus theft and blah blah blah, and I don't really want to go there, but like having like I can't completely criticize and hold at fault for people who use AI or these bigger generative tools to help come up with logos or backgrounds or wording or rephrasing and that sort of stuff. That's kind of part and parcel where it is right now. I just like, yeah. So,
right, and some of the other points that she makes, sort of at the end, I think also share with us. I was getting a little bit of a sense of desperation from her. I really want this channel to get bigger. I want to be able to raise lots of money. We don't say what for specifically. So, I mean, yes, everyone in content creation wants to be the next big thing and raking in gobs of money because all their troubles will go away. So I see a little bit of that in how she structures her channel. And that's, that could be a criticism. It could just be, I mean, that's just what she chooses to do. There's a lot of people out there doing completely AI generated content. It's AI read. It's a script that AI generates, and all they do is just upload it. That's the only human interaction. And maybe not even that. I mean, you could go to all kinds of different stories right now on YouTube where everything you see and hear is completely AI. And that stuff turns me off. Because it is, it's usually sort of the British voice doing kind of the narrative, National Geographic kind of nonsense. I was looking for
use like a Morgan Freeman sort of like voice of like that whole narrative. So that's
and it's sort of source stock footage. Some of it is obviously AI because it's just so nonsensical. Especially some of the more conspiracy topics. You see a lot more solely AI generated content. So I mean, I'll give her some credit. She puts herself in front of a camera. She's well put together. But then when you cover a story that's got a lot of grassroots coverage and people who know the facts, and then you start picking fights with them in your chat and your comment section, that's where it starts coming apart. And when that happens so much that people talk about it, so we're going back to the video, folks, but we're going to look at the comment section. And I was gonna talk a little bit more about AI because Bruce, the veritable moose, in his Alex Trebek Good Sense with Hey Rob yesterday, I think it was, did an AI Jeopardy of Laura Owens. And so they asked AI some questions about the case. It got a lot of it right. It got some of the meatier subjects wrong. So the thing that really kind of gets me about Stacy was her approach. And, I'll give her credit on the things we agree on, and that's fine. That's not it. It's some of the finer details, and she admits in her comment section that she doesn't think her audience is about the details, and I think that's downplaying your audience in my view. A lot of people on the YouTubes are a little bit smarter than I think some of their creators give them credit for, but that's how she wants to do it. And again, it's her right to structure things how she wants. It just means that, you're going to reach a certain high watermark in your channel growth. But with using all of that, one of the things she said, I listened to this all over again from the beginning before we went on. And she references things like, Bachelorgate and TikTok. And if you're using just the responses in TikToks, and she didn't really cite any of her sources. I went and did some digging. I couldn't find any TikToks that talked about people blinking a few times and that means, they're guilty, or not dotting I's and that means they've got a personality disorder, or whatever it was she said. She made references like that. When you're going to look on the bathroom stall walls and see what's smeared as your story, that's not quite doing your due diligence. And again, she does say, well, I'm not a journalist. I just want to tell a story. And okay, but at what point is that story not fully fleshed enough with enough details to at least be solidly credible? If the limit of your intake is AI and the comment section on TikTok or wherever, I think that's problematic if you really want to grow a channel that sits in a realm of reality, that being true crime. So I think she presents some problems for herself that she hasn't even realized. And what she goes on to do is start punching back in her comments section. And I think that only makes it worse for her.
That's a classic mistake, is going in and looking at the comments and then trying to refute or argue in the comments, sort of thing. So that's just error 101 right there, but please continue.
And I could say I'm guilty of that too, because I just like having the conversation in my comment section, but I'm not using it as kind of the punching bag of, well, this is what I do and my people like it, so shut the hell up. But in some of these, that's kind of the stance she takes. And at one point, and this is going to drive you crazy, and we'll bring it up because it's a little bit further down. She says, well, I'm right because I'm a licensed, certified paralegal. And then she goes on to cite some dates that are factually incorrect about the Owens v. Echard case. And I was just grabbing my hair. It's like, do you not hear yourself? And I can only think she's, and if you scroll more through her comments, there's a lot of just wanting validation. And if you hear her comments at the end of the video, I want my channel to grow. I want to be able to raise lots of big money and we need lots of people. So I want this thing to happen. I feel more of a desperation of wanting validation for 6 years of work, and she's not where she thinks she should be. And I get that. I mean, we all kind of feel that in this realm, but at some point you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, am I just getting in my own way here? And I'm not so sure she's that self-aware. And okay, I think that's a criticism that could go either way. I mean, I could say the same thing about myself. So she starts, I made a comment as I watched this, and I wasn't overly snarky. I gave her some benefit of the doubt, but did point out that she missed a lot of the details and that Owens v. Echard is but a smaller segment of a much bigger history and pattern of behavior of this one woman. And if you want to just rest in Bachelor land and say, hey, this thing happened with the Bachelor and it's a crazy woman named Laura Owens, you can. People have done that, and then they move on. But then she goes on to say she wants to cover the trial. That hasn't happened yet. So it's like, make up your mind. Where are you going to cover the story, or are you just cherry picking the sound bites and, fluffing them up, and you're just giving your audience honey without giving them some meat and potatoes and just saying, well, that's what my audience wants. You're not giving them the benefit of the doubt is what I'm trying to get at. So she starts responding to some people, and this is from a day ago, and she says, okay, so this story is only about the Clayton Echard case, which when you talk about the trial, because she stopped short, we're talking about more than one case now with 14 felonies. The first 7 were for Clayton. The more recent ones were for Greg Gillespie. So already she's missing the whole point. And she goes on to say, and how you took away that I was belittling any other creators when I literally praised Dave Neal is beyond me. I don't know. Dave's a generous guy. I'm not going to speak for him, but he's a very kind, generous guy. And he would take a label like, the caffeinated court hound set up to read a trial for 60 minutes or whatever it was she said. He'll probably love that. I mean, Dave's just very generous and forgiving. So I don't think anything she said about Dave, it wasn't an indictment, but she says it a few times. The heavily caffeinated and industrious. It's like, well, yeah, Dave's one of the hardest working guys on YouTube. He's producing a couple things every day, and that's work. In addition to being a stand-up comic and touring and that kind of thing, and having a wife and a kid. He's a busy guy. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep reading some comments because it kind of gives the flow, and she gets kind of pissy and frustrated, and I get it, but at some point just disengage with your comments. You don't need to get punitive. You don't need to keep pushing back. I mean, I've had to let a lot of things go in my comments, and one person I've had to kick out because they just wanted to say some factually untrue things about an attorney who was involved in the Maricini case. And it's like, okay, this isn't the place for your personal beef with Omar Serrato and whatever it was that happened between the two of you, and you asserting that he's price gouging Mike Maricini and his representation. This isn't the place for that. So that was one case where I felt the need to boot somebody. It's like, there is a limit, and that's why we have mods. I trust everybody I've modded because I see how they think and how they work, and we've talked. So if people let people stay, they can stay. And if I find them a problem and they're just too much of a distraction, then maybe I'll boot them myself. But I don't want to be punitive too, because I think there is room for some debate, and we can disagree with each other politically and otherwise. So I like to keep that room, but not everybody does. And I feel like she's trying to squeeze people that only want to agree with her. So let's see, what else does she say here? I think it is quite obvious that I was speaking of the internet as a whole, and the way this story has been tossed around on drama and gossip forums, which is where the actual belittling was done. Now, I have not found any of those so-called gossip forums. The title of the story is The Bachelor Baby Scammer. That's it. That's the story, which was hard to squeeze into a 30-minute episode, considering there are so many filings and legal documents. I'm not a journalist, never claimed to be. I am a storyteller, and this is the singular story I focused on for this episode.
So right there, she absolutely just owns right up to it has nothing to do with the facts. It has everything to do with
we're
the
going for the
sensationalism,
sensational, yeah.
And getting the attraction and the clicks and likes and engagement, blah blah blah.
Right. She's doing whatever she can to keep building her channel is sort of my takeaway. And then someone named Rebecca Simmons goes on to say, I think you misunderstood. It wasn't the creators, but their communities that felt insulted. Like I said in my reply, it didn't come across as intentionally insulting. It just seemed like you accidentally hit a sore spot, which I think is a fair representation from what I've seen. I totally agree. The internet as a whole can be insane. The Boston Marathon bomber incident comes to mind. But with this particular case, Laura's constant attack was playing victim. She screamed to the courts that the Reddit and content creator communities were an organized cult only determined to harass and humiliate her. We've got that in print, folks, from Laura Owens herself. That was far from the truth. She brought the story forward wishing to make the public be on her side. When the communities had questions and was willing to see the evidence to support her side, she said she provided more than enough already and nothing would change our mind. I think she means her mind. Again, I totally believe you didn't do it on purpose. It just so happened that those comments came across invalidating, given the story with Laura and the online communities here. An accurate representation, I believe. Stacy Lee further responds, I understand, but don't agree. I was speaking about the people talking about the number of times she blinked. And like I said, whether or not she capitalized the letter I using pseudopsychology to sway the narrative. I still haven't found that. I've done some looking. I have not found wherever Stacy has found that. And I'm not sure she would reveal that source. Maybe she would. I don't know. My audience is interested in the story. And in this community, we talk a lot about the role social media plays into the way things are investigated and reported now. I thought I made it clear that I was talking about those types of responses by giving examples. I don't know. I don't think she quite succeeded in that. There's a couple other comments there. Some people talk about Gingras and so on. She further responds, again from Stacy Lee here. Oops, not that. I can't quite highlight things. I'm not sure if this is JFC and the actual profile she's responding to, but I don't know. But she says, JFC, I never said a single word about Owens' lawyers. Oh, Jesus effing C, I think is what she was going after.
Yeah, I think that's what that meant.
See, sometimes when we use the same letters for acronyms, that can also be a problem. See, I said lawyers do lawyering. Okay, that's obvious. I said the prosecution relied on metadata. Well, kind of. It wasn't metadata that was so much involved here, other than when Mike Maricini's laptop was forensically analyzed by John Berryhill. And that almost came into play in the Owens v. Maricini case in San Francisco, which recently concluded. They had John Berryhill ready to go as an expert witness to validate all of the some 2,000 different entries, supposedly, of texts and messages that lay dormant on Mike's laptop, and was ready for analysis to prove that she did what she did and things were said how they were said, which whenever it was convenient for her, she would deny or agree with. So the story was always changing. Stacy Lee goes on. I never praised Owens' lawyers. I'm going to put the word out. Don't cover this case. You people are committed to misunderstanding me because you don't like what I said. I said what I said. Yes, we know, Stacy. We see it. We hear it. I'm going to put... Oh, whoops, I read that. You can attack me all you want. I saw the stupid and ridiculous comments about the number of blinks and Owens' writing. If you're not the people who made those idiotic comments, why are you so mad? I'm done being attacked and nitpicked over your hurt feelings. I told this story in a way that focused on the actual victim, which is not your community. Maybe remember that. And I'm done explaining it over and over to people who just want to fight. I don't. Put your energy into helping instead of tearing me down for calling you a Greek chorus. OMG, how insulting. Laughing emoji. I'm turning mods and filters on, and people can go read the multiple other times I've explained and stated my piece. I'm not spending any more time on this community. I hope you all find a way to do the constructive work without becoming so angry and mean. I really do.
Lordy.
So she's quite defensive. Quite defensive.
Touch.
Yeah. And as Mary Smith says, she comes across as liking the attention. Yeah, you do see some of that. Yeah. And I'll point some of that out.
She fully even admitted to it at the end of the video and in several of these little comment things that she's made. Like yeah.
And if you read further in the comments, she really likes being validated. And we'll look at some of that just for completion's sake. Let's see. She's very grateful for people who make sacrifices to expose bad people. I think he has a lot of fans. That's in reference to Dave Neal. That's fair. Dave's been very involved. She responds to someone else, and I don't think that comment's not here for some reason. You'll be disappointed. I went out of my way to give clear examples of the kind of behavior I was referring to, and you're intentionally misrepresenting what I said. I have zero desire to argue with people who are committed to being mad about something that didn't happen. If you aren't someone talking about her number of blinks or not capitalizing a letter, why are we always harping on these two things? That's like the only pieces of evidence she ever found, and that's bizarre. Or promoting the case for gossip, I made it clear that it's not you. And the next time you're tempted to tell someone they need to apologize for having an opinion on their own page, I'd ask that you think about that more thoroughly. Yikes. It's getting a little hot in here. There's some other things I'll skip past when people are just kind of talking about little things. Henrietta Vanderfloof, who has been very involved in the comment section of a number of channels, including here, and Megan Fox and some others, said this. Stacy, over the past 10 years, this woman has gone through something like 17 lawyers. In the Clayton case, in the Clayton case alone, there were 4+. One lawyer even filed a notice of candor in that case after he left the case. She lies, they want out. She then files a complaint to the bar about them. She is incapable of admitting that she lied. It would ruin the completely false persona she has built up for so many years. She is so used to getting away with the lies. It's like she's been allowed to embellish and lie since birth, and only now cannot believe she isn't getting away with it anymore. And not surprisingly, Stacy's shocked by that news, that there's 17 lawyers, which is about right. This is crazy. She seems like an entitled brat who has never been told no. I'm so glad she's being prosecuted and they aren't messing around. Such a wild story. Fair.
Welcome to current. Welcome to current.
But she should have realized that in the body cam footage she herself used at the front part of her own video. I mean, that's kind of, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Thank.
That many bar complaints will have a major impact on his licensure and reputation. Bad news. Let's see. And then there are people that talk about Laura getting a plea deal and, you know, she won't. And Stacy sort of agrees with her there. Some other people talk about some other details. Let's see. Jordan Mortman, this case wasn't dismissed in June of 2024. Clayton won and the judge ruled she wasn't pregnant and Laura had to pay his legal fees. That is accurate. She tried to appeal it, saying that was when people misspell things and I get caught. I think that's the right word. Saying that was denied and why the judge referred her to the prosecutor. Laura has a court date coming up about the money she owes Clayton and his attorneys from the June 10 ruling. And then they give her some more kudos. But you did a great job. It's so easy to get all the info straight with so many cases. Well, it's easy, but yet Stacy doesn't quite get there. And she responds, that being Stacy Lee, I should have been more clear. I try not to get too detailed on the particular filings. On February 16, 2024, there was a dismissal and entry of judgment. And I'm sorry, Stacy, but that's incorrect. Because here we have all of the rulings on victimsoflauraowens.com. Oh, crap. I'm not sharing my screen, am I?
Nope.
Let's fix that.
Disappeared.
StreamYard's just done me dirty. Okay, hang on a sec. Hold, please.
The joys of doing it live.
Okay. Here we have on victimsoflauraowens.com. We have all of these details. We have it all the way back to 2023, Owens v. Echard. And if we were to look at what she just cited as being represented as a fact, February 16, 2024 is what she says. There is no February 16, 2024. And if there is, it's the petitioner's motion to quash the deposition. So Stacy's got some factual issues. She's just got factual issues, and I'm not sure where she's getting them from. It would be good for her,
Well,
I think, in the true crime community setting. Being a content creator, covering true crime stuff, whatever it is that she all does. I've seen other cases. I looked through her video list. Cite your sources. That's the easy way to do it. And I've been doing that essentially from the beginning. Is the last thing I wanted to have is, you got that wrong, I'm going to sue you for defamation, which Laura Owens had a penchant for. So I learned rather early on, if you're going to cover this kind of stuff, have the receipts. And okay, she made sort of a snide comment about someone with Four Loko dancing on a counter saying, I've got the receipts. But that's what these kinds of stories and cases need, in my not so humble opinion. If they're real true crime and true court cases, you've got the paperwork. And you can be dismissive and you can say, well, but my audience doesn't care about the pleadings and the filings. Okay, fine. But it's okay to sprinkle some actual facts and actual paperwork in there. Instead of rolling, generic B camera footage of a guy sitting there at an iPad with graphs that have nothing to do with the story you're talking about, show some documents. Maybe have a couple factoids. Is it that hard? Am I being too critical?
I mean, you usually are. You're
yes.
usually
I know I'm a self-righteous
an
bastard,
ass like
and I'll
that,
admit
yes.
it.
But I think in this case, I think it's just patently clear based on that last little video clip plus the comments and stuff that she has literally no interest in
the
looking
details.
at it from the detail or like even sprinkling in the facts. She wants to tell stories. She wants her channel to grow. She wants to make a fuck ton of money. The donation thing. It's like, to me, it's just patently obvious that her motivation
The motivations
here isn't
are a little less pure.
a little.
Well,
Like,
I'm trying to be fair. I don't know her personally. I've only just encountered her through here. I haven't looked at a whole lot of her other content. I've kind of skimmed through some other things. Like, okay, some people have called her like the Timu Nancy Grace. That's a fair criticism from that standpoint. It's just, come on, Stacy. Just take one more step and you'll be halfway there.
Well,
Don't
just
get so
own it.
lackadaisical. I mean,
Well, and if, like,
there's
if
a
you're just
reason
going to
content
do,
creation is difficult, especially
yes,
with factual stories. Stories that are nonfiction, and you can go and research them yourself. I'm
well,
sorry,
and I
you're going to
think
say.
no, I think it's fine. I think the flaw here, the fundamental flaw, is that when she owned up to using tools like AI to do this research on her behalf, it's like, well, that she's only getting certain parts of that. And I mean, insert my previous rant about the AI thing, right? So I mean, I won't rehash that, but it's that focuses on part of it, but also the fact that she's really not interested in doing quote unquote journalism here, at least the way that I kind of understand journalism, or like this news thing. She is very much into this for entertainment purposes and that commentary thing. There is a huge difference between doing op-ed work and opining opinions versus actually doing actual journalism and talking about like the facts, as it were, like, which I think a lot of the people that you and that are in this chat, like this world that orbits this sort of thing versus what it appears for her of just like, hey, I got a cool story and I'm going to share it because and talk about it in my succinct way because I think it's going to get more viewers and get more clicks and more engagements and that sort of thing. And it's one more opportunity for her to get that appearance and face on the internet. And it's just like, just fucking admit that it's just for entertainment purposes, girl. Come on.
That would be the
Come
easy way
on.
out, is almost just a simple little disclaimer, which she doesn't even carry either. It's
Yeah,
about sort of law
exactly.
and crime-esque of this is the facts and I'm getting, but it's not. And, just to carry on, let me go back to this screen because this is where it really rubbed my bark, because we've had legal eyes as content creators and as practicing attorneys weigh in. And as I brought up the comments just a moment ago, Omar Serrato, the amazing tilted lawyer, who's quite heavily connected to this case now, we saw in real time when he first was introduced to the story, he was sitting there with some other people that I think sort of helped him with his practice, maybe some interns. And he didn't get it at first. He gave Laura a lot of the credit of the doubt because, society is built, hashtag Me Too, believe all women. And, oh, okay, you've got this woman saying that a deadbeat bachelor TV guy knocked her up and now he's a deadbeat and, she's going to give birth any day now. But that's not quite what happened. So as someone else would say, watching Omar's getting there was, half of the entertainment value for many people, I think. Because he was stuck. He was stuck for a little while, and then he started to get it. And as he looked at more and more, he realized how much of a mess the whole history of the case was. And now that he's been involved in it directly, he probably has a very personal touch in being representation for someone that woman, Laura Owens, has gone after. But let me read a little bit more here, and maybe I'm kind of over it at this point. Amy Caitlin 1120 on Stacy Lee's video of this said the following, trying to correct Stacy, I think, a little bit. Judge Mata ruled on the paternity case on June 18, 2024. The hearing was June 10. Yes, accurate. She granted Clayton a finding of non-paternity, awarded him attorney's fees and costs because she determined, golly, get my eyes fixed. She determined that Laura had lied and presented doctored evidence, and then referred her to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for Criminal Prosecution. Laura, with her attorney David Gingras, oh damn it,
fucking
there we go.
douche canoe.
I need to do it at least once a stream. I think it's in my contract. Filed appeals with both the Arizona Court of Appeals and the Arizona Supreme Court, which were both denied. There was no dismissal. True. Which Stacy says a number of times. It was dismissed. No, that's inaccurate language. Through the paternity claim, though the paternity claim was dismissed, the issue of non-paternity and sanctions attorney's fees remained, which Rachel Juarez stated quite emphatically in her little tete-a-tete with David Gingras on Reality Steve's podcast. And that was something Rachel was fighting with David quite emphatically. No, it's not just about paternity, because there was the request for fees and costs. And then once the judge found not only the issue of non-paternity, but that she lied, it turned into a submission of a course of action in bad faith, which then adds to the sanctions and fees and costs possibilities. And David didn't want to acknowledge that because, David only wants to be a winner. So that was kind of his problem. Let's see what else. Judgment came after the June 10 hearing when Clayton was awarded fees. You may be confusing this with Laura Owens' case with another victim, Greg Gillespie, which was dismissed with no judgment for either party. There are numerous facts and details in this case to keep track of, so it can get confusing. As someone who's followed this from the very beginning, I always appreciate new people covering the case. And this is where Stacy really bothers me, because we start using appeals to authority fallacies to strong-arm commenters. So Stacy Lee replies this to Amy Caitlin 1120. On January 24, 2024, also an erroneous date on this tab if I go back. Stacy. So here we have January of 2024. And Stacy says, a motion to dismiss was granted the petitioner, and then on July 12, 2024, a motion to set aside the judgment was filed. None of those dates are accurate. They just aren't. So we have the motion to dismiss the petition, which was an order regarding that, but it's not the same thing because the dismissal that Laura tried was denied because Clayton had a response. And that's what David was always arguing with Rachel over. And, okay, again, I'm not in the legal profession in any fashion, but I think I get the grasp of how a lot of this works by now. So let's see, what was the other one? July 2024, a motion to set aside the judgment was filed. Well, that's not even an accurate language either. See, June, July, April, May, there we go. The application for attorney's fees and costs. Notice of change of judge for cause is what happened first. And then there was an attempt to get, which failed, the notice of change of judge for cause that David tried. Once they got an unfavorable ruling, that was David's strategy. Do everything he can to discredit the judge, which he made public postings about on his blog. Gee, Daddy, look at me. I'm a real judge now. That's got him in trouble. And then when that failed, he tried to get it vacated. And when that failed, then he started the appeals process. So Stacy doesn't even have some of the basic grasp. And it's infuriating going a little further. And I'll just read off the rest of this paragraph because this is what Stacy says in response. Owens filed an appeal to the appellate court. Yes, it wasn't, I don't think it was October either. I think that's the wrong date. This is all on the Echard case. She had to appeal to the appellate court instead of dropping the pleadings. She can't drop the pleadings. It's already a judgment. It's a decided case, Stacy. Because of the judgment set in place. Yes, there was a judgment, but you missed the point. It's very complex, and the story is about the Echard case only. I am a licensed and certified paralegal, but I try not to spend much time on the pleadings and file dates because my audience isn't interested in those things. Just the story. Oh, I should bring that up. Sorry, chat. I'm over here. See, there we are. I'm a licensed and certified paralegal, but I try not to blah, 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 just the story. I was going to do a part 2 on this story, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that now. It's clear that many people are invested in the details that aren't interesting to my loyal base, so this may be a one and done for me. Thanks for watching.
Okay, bye.
Stacy, you can't even go to the resources we have that have the... You can't even get the basic dates right arguing with people. It's maddening.
I think she's looking again, it just kind of comes back to this, she wants clicks, likes, subscribes.
She wants the clickbait stuff.
And that's
she
all,
wants the clickbait
all
stuff.
that matters. And the rest of the people who are trying not to have this particular well poisoned are pushing back, and she fucking hates that because it's just it's antithetical to her goal.
I think it's a fair, accurate representation. Some people have already said she wants sort of the notoriety. There's some I don't know. Maybe she's narcissistic and just wants the fame and the money. And people give some shout outs here. Goosebump 801. Dave's journalistic integrity cannot be overstated, and there are so many others who've contributed, from Megan Fox to That Umbrella Guy, Legal Vices, Court of Random Opinion, Schnitzel Ninja, all the best research, IT Goatee Brad. But Brad hasn't really made any videos of his own. He has been on many people's channels, so that's fair. The Tilted Lawyer, Reality Steve, Big Tiff Dog, and many others, not to mention the thousands of us who contributed time and money to help boost the signal.
And Bruce deserves the shout out there too, because he was in the list.
Hey, Bruce. Yeah, I think, is Bruce still hiding in the chat? Hey, Bruce. Yeah, I've seen Bruce. He's there. I called him Moose Trebek earlier in the stream because of his yesterday stream with doing AI Jeopardy with Hey Rob.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
So it's, I think it's not too much to ask somebody who works in true crime content creation, with real stories, with stuff you can research, with facts and evidence. And if you really want to go through a fine-tooth comb, you can dig through all of the filings and the pleadings and all of the shit that happened in this case, which went beyond just the motion practice and the litigation. It went into the public realm with David Gingras trying to be Laura's PR agent, and it went into the public realm with Laura posting constant Medium blogs anytime that people weren't on her side, and she was always lobbing grenades at Dave and others when she wasn't trying to sue them. It's not too much to ask to say, okay, this is just entertainment. We may not have the details. We may not even have the facts right if I decide to argue with you in my comment section. Is it too much to ask? Just be a little more transparent about your intent.
I think that sort of just pulls down the facade, right? Of like,
and maybe that's what she's afraid of.
Well, probably because if she's like,
a little
she wants
desperate
to prop
to grow her
herself
channel.
up she wants to prop it up as this, like, I'm going to tell you a story about a thing that happened, and it's like, yeah, but that thing's not exactly accurate. And then like people call her out, and blah blah blah. Like, I'm kind of curious. This is me just being terribly ignorant of like those that orbit this, or like true crime, YouTubes and such. Is this the first time that she has waded into the true crime world?
Well, no. She says she's been doing this for 6 years. So, I mean, kind of the defensive posture she has is a little bit surprising to me. Because surely this isn't the only thing. And I'm going to back up here, and then I'll bring it up again. Let's look at... Let me stop the audio because I'm not sharing it. No one will hear it anyhow. Let's just kind of look at her videos. And let's see, let's look at her lives first. She's only done a handful of lives in the past, within a year, 2 years ago. She's mostly done produced videos. And that's fair because, I mean, her production styles, pretty decent. I don't put that much effort into it, to getting all the, the B stock video footage and cobbling a bunch of imagery together with stock music tracks and that kind of stuff. But she's got, let's see, 883 videos.
It's quite a fair amount of content.
She's got me liked. I've got 60 something videos, just mostly on Laura Owens. And then we've ventured into this because, it's a lot more fun than editing for hours on end. So she's not a stranger to this. So what's the deal? What's the deal here? And just to kind of bring this up for everyone else's edification, she's not new to covering this stuff. So here's her page. This is Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee, and that's her @ as well. If you want to explore her more, by all means. I haven't subbed to her yet because if this is her usual pattern, I'm not convinced. If we're kind of plucking little things from AI and the toilet stalls of the internet as our sources for content, it's not my flavor. Maybe it is for her 38.5k subscribers, and more power to them. But she's the 7M TikTok cult, evil pastors getting caught, Jesus take the hard drive, real life Saul Goodman, one call, that's all. She goes on and on and on and on. Youngest serial, Rubicon to riches, to McDonald's mornings. She's obviously put some effort into at least producing. But the content, the quality of the content makes me suspicious now.
Just at a glance and looking at this, it's like, this is a lot of clickbait shit here.
It is, and it's not unexpected. Even some of the stuff with Laura Owens, is people have said, is kind of clickbaity, but it's been backed up, and that's kind of the incredible thing about it. The story is so wild. Calling it tonsil twins is not wrong. Mm-hmm. Laura Owens gave him 2 BJs and claimed to be pregnant. So what are you going to call it? And then Megan's creation, which Stacy kind of latched onto, but she was latching onto it via Dave, who used the Friedel attraction label a little bit because he was working with Megan Fox a lot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Megan Fox came up with Fetal Attraction. We talked about that a little bit on Friday. Megan compared it to the movie Fatal Attraction, but this is about babies instead of that. So it was, and other people have caught up on that term that Megan came up with, the spoof. I guess it would be satire, using fetal attraction to represent the case. And, I've stayed away from, I tried to do femme fatale, which didn't last long because I got bored of it. I get bored easily. Yeah. Okay. Just snicker. Fine.
I say, no.
I'm not stopping you. I haven't muted you at all yet once.
Yeah,
but she goes on. I mean,
you're
there's a
feeling
lot of stuff
charitable
here.
for a Sunday.
Menendez brothers. She's. I'm not sure why we have a rainbow flag in front of this one. I'm curious. Body parts and trash bags. Who is killing gay men leaving bars in NYC? I'm almost curious, but we won't do that tonight.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough alcohol for that. And it's a school night, so.
I mean, I would be curious to see what else she's done and actually do some research on it and see if maybe she just made some missteps here to kind of crank something out quickly and people caught that. And, a lot of people who've been involved for a while will feel some ownership, especially if they have the facts of the case. And she just got caught in some crossfire she didn't want to do because, I'm just doing my thing here. Leave me alone.
I mean, probably. I mean, it's not like these have a ton of views all there compared to how many subscribers. And if she's using generative AI to come up with scripts and stitch together stuff for a quick, 30-minute summation, to keep the video time under a certain amount, it's just I personally, I would just write her off as somebody who literally doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, and
but she's a certified and licensed paralegal.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, but I've got farm videos to watch, so and
I would love to know who's certified and licensed her because it's not required in all states. If that is in fact true, and it's not just some kind of leverage appeal to authority fallacy. Don't criticize me because I know what I'm talking about. I studied a little bit of something legal at one point and I got a piece of paper.
Well, yeah, that's just that. Okay, so that's the equivalent of whipping it out of your.
So did David Gingras, and look where he's at. He's a licensed attorney of 20-something years.
Cool. So let's all whip it out and whip not just that out, but our papers and compare and see where it goes. Okay, where's that going to fucking get you if you are sitting there just spouting a bunch of bullshit? Or this is like the Law and Order version of based on a true story. This happened in New York City.
Yeah.
Just fuck off. Fuck all the way off.
Right. She uses a lot of the same thumbnail. Yeah. I think she's got her hair different ways. It may be. So, I'm just reading this comment here from an Orca Nitzid. I love stumbling over people's names. Does she only own one dress? Well, there's a lot of black dresses here that seem to be kind of the V-neck dress with different versions of hair. I think Megan Fox would have lots to say about her hair. Both good and maybe not so good. I'm not the hair expert that Megan Fox is, so I'm not even going to pretend. If any of you follow Megan and are a little closer to Megan than I ever will be, maybe, I don't know. I haven't talked to Megan yet. See if she's interested in talking about what other people are saying about this story. Megan has taken some other people who've covered this to task because they've done a bad job. And Megan's not shy about telling them so because she is a legitimate journalist and writes mostly for PJ Media. She does other places too. She's published a number of books. What was it? Hashtag Me Too, from Salome to something. I can't get that book. It's expensive. I want to get that book. I want to see what else Megan has actually written. At least, in novel form. The death of... Oh, see, now I've forgotten the name of Megan's book that she was plugging a while back. I know it's out there. I would remember it eventually. Not on the spot, not on camera.
Yeah, I think I'm not much one to criticize a person's character based on their looks or how they dress and that sort of thing. I think that it's just kind of a trope, honestly, of if we pay attention to I don't know, I've got too many nieces and nephews that are young, and so Blue's Clues, literally the dude wore literally the same outfit all the time because that's exactly what was expected every single time. And like, I get,
Sure.
Katie's, comment about like, is she AI generated too? Sure. She certainly looks plastic in a lot of these photos and overdone. But again, I think that just goes to reinforce that this is not about the substance of the material that's posted. I think this is meant really to be some kind of entertainment platform where she can then, in a very snarky sort of opinion, run a grift to get
Which
people to give her
I'm here
money.
for. I'm here for the snarky opinions. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But I want factually snarky opinions, not just hyperbole.
So I think I really just appears as though there's some kind of grift.
Bruce. I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Bruce. I love it.
Yeah.
Therefore, ergo, the flat earth is confirmed.
Yep. I mean, Bruce, I'll buy you, if you're in the area, I will buy you dinner. I won't even make you whip it out. I just want to have I just want to have a great conversation with you. Like, I won't even ask you to whip anything out. How about that?
Oh my God. You can have him whip out a cat. He's got a couple of those.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I have bribery kittens in stock. It's fine.
Bruce might say, will you take care of my cats? But, Bruce was to the south from here. I would assume sort of on the west side of the grand old town of Portland, but I'm just guessing. I'm not doxing Bruce. Bruce has moved. He's no longer Bruce from Oregon with the Bruce from Oregon show. He is just Bruce the Moose because he was mobile for a while and has returned to his, I believe, native Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. Bruce, you can correct me if I've got some of that wrong.
Now you're okay. So now you're doxing him. That's cool.
No, he's revealed that.
Oh, okay.
That is not doxing. I don't know where, and I don't care. I just want him to send me cheese.
Well, if he's in Wisconsin, then that's got to be the greatest fucking cheese on the planet. So besides Beecher's,
besides he says
Beecher's,
he lived in Rural Hills Burrito.
Oh,
we know where that is. I've visited some places out there in days gone by. I made a joke once that I could see Bruce's van from the Space Needle. I did.
Was that before all the buildings went up?
Yes. While he was living in his mobile Moose tech van, which hopefully he's kept because we'll need the tech van. And if he hasn't outfitted it with enough tech yet. Oh, okay, Bruce, you don't have to tell your whole life if you don't want. It's not a solicitation for you to dox yourself. No, we don't want that. That's not what we're looking for. But he's in good cheese land, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He told me once, I was saying, okay, so is the cheese in Wisconsin better or worse than Tillamook? And he says, Wisconsin cheese is better. Tillamook's okay. I thought that was fair. I've heard Wisconsin cheese is great.
To be fair, I haven't had the full sampling of Wisconsin cheese, so I'm going to stick with Tillamook and Beecher's until I'm proven otherwise.
Stop it. Oh, it's holiday time. Get that Beecher's.
That's right.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner, my friend.
It is.
Do you have any wild plans? Maybe I shouldn't ask you this on stream, but I'm gonna.
No, nothing too out of the ordinary. I'll be spending some time with family on Thursday, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing on Friday yet.
Oh,
maybe
I think I've got a Friday
online shopping, maybe.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. You have a Friday date? What?
Yeah, the boss. The boss says, let's come. He wants me to bring dessert, I'm sure. It's so that I can provide part of his dinner.
Pies. Go get one of those pumpkin pies from Costco because those things are fucking amazing.
I don't do pumpkin.
Why are we friends?
Because I don't do pumpkin, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, but you don't like seafood either.
Also true. I'm not a pescatarian by any sense of the fashion. Oh, I would love to talk to the FBI about Laura Owens. Please, Laura, report me. Bruce, do you really want to invite that? I mean, honestly.
Really under the current? Like, do you really want Cash
Bruce
Patel
is bearing his soul in
to talk about that with you right now?
Once upon a time, I was born near midnight in a hospital. Sometime later, I made a YouTube video. Meanwhile, back on the farm. I think that's enough. I don't want to get into the whole kerfluffle we seem to have started on the Justice for Clayton Reddit page. But just to tease people, just a touch. Go look for yourself, folks. Don't take my word for it. Let's see. I've already pulled it down. Yes, I have. We started a whole thing on the JFC Reddit threads about talking about what Stacy Lee was talking about. You can go find it. It's in the last day or so.
Pro tip, just search for Justice for Clayton. Don't search for JFC. You might get mixed results in your search engine.
Reddit.com/Justice for Clayton. I think most people here might know where that Reddit is. It's not hard to find. And it's quite active. I mean, there's stuff on a daily basis.
I'm still going with the classic definition of JFC because I use that almost on an hourly basis.
Yeah, you do. And that's okay. I'm not insulted either. Some people would be, but not me. I've heard it all. It's like, just get over it, folks.
Not everything is
offended,
sacred, I wouldn't
even
care.
If it's sacred.
Yeah, even if you were offended, I would not.
I know.
I have a hard time finding fucks to give.
You wouldn't. Yes, Ducky, I have been outed. Anything? Oh, what? No. Sorry, that was South Florida. Wrong one. The chat bumped me right as I clicked on it. Yes, no seafood for me. If it swims, I'm not interested. Bless my father, he tried, including clams. And, nothing makes me feel more nauseous than the smell of clams, especially cooking.
God, I love Ivor's white clam chowder. Oh, my God. That is like...
Oh, stop.
Yep. Sign me up.
Stop it. I know there's other people that agree with you. Well, you would probably go to Acres of Clams, and what's the other one?
Yes. Well, and all the seafood bars and Mukilteo Ivor's Landing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ivor's Landing has Lagavulin 16-year readily available, and it's not super expensive. So I will go and treat myself like I did on Veterans Day to a nice double pour of that and a delightful salmon dinner that was absolutely amazing. You just missed out. Whatever. Have people from the stream.
Both my parents love their seafood.
Yep, it's fine.
I assume it's because I am the water sign of fish, and there may be something there. I don't know. No, I can't do it.
Is that like self-cannibalism type thing? I don't know.
It may be. It may be.
Okay.
It may be sort of self-preservation. I'm not sure. But no, I've tried Copper River salmon in Alaska, and no. Laura Owens has some wiring problems. My wiring problems are I'm not interested in fish. Not clams, not crab. I had no problems catching them. I was actually pretty decent with a pole and a reel and digging up clams, and I did okay with a crab pot too, but I just had no interest in what happened later. I didn't want to cook them. I didn't want to eat them.
Well, neither did I. That's why I don't do it actively. I respect the food supply chain, but I also love a steak, and I'm not going to go out and slaughter a cow in the middle of the field just to have my steak. I am slightly civilized despite the background of being out in the fucking wilderness.
Being out in the sticks. Well, the sticks are okay.
They are. They're delightful.
Copper River salmon isn't great. Don't say that around here. That's heresy around here, especially to all the restaurateurs who will advertise. I'm not kidding. And Bruce can attest to this, having lived in this corner of the world. They will make great advertising acclaim, the Copper River salmon being flown in via air vehicles and the high price that commands just to serve it fresh for what, a couple $100 or something? It's outrageous.
I'm just good with coho or sockeye. Those are like the two.
Yeah, there's not a salmon my father won't eat.
I mean, generally, I won't either.
Except certain shellfish. He's allergic to certain shellfish.
I refuse to eat Atlantic farmed. That is disgusting.
Fair.
No.
I've heard that before.
Nope.
I've heard that before.
Yep.
How did this turn into seafood talk? Holy crap.
This is what we do.
Oh my God. Yes. As the ticker of watches starts to dwindle down as we start rambling on about things they don't care about.
Yeah. What are we down to, like 12 people now?
Yeah. No, my thing says 68, but it's fluttering.
All right.
I'm not sure where the high water mark is. I don't care. Yes. Yeah. See, my father is too. And I carry a lot of his problems, genetically speaking. So it's like, you know what? There's just some things I'm not going to attempt. That's part of my reasoning. But that's not to say I haven't tried some things here and there. It's just, it's like alcohol. It's done, over it. Tried it in college. Didn't do things for me. I didn't like the sensation. Some people just know what they like. Now, if I were to go anywhere, this is probably where I'd go because it's bad for me and it's got chips. And we like chips. I'm less interested in the fish. I'll take the breading. I want the carbs. The carbs and the chips.
You would go, wait, you would eat fish and chips?
No.
Well,
I
where
will
would
eat
you
the
go?
fish and chips without the fish. I just want the breading and the potatoes.
Halibut is fit. Why
I know
did you
what it
like?
is.
Well, then where would you go? What were we talking about?
I just want the carbs. I just want the breading on the fish and the chips. I don't want the fish in no. I know I've lost you. It's okay.
Fine. The next time.
I want the crusty outsides of the breaded fish. I don't want the stuff.
Okay, well,
in it.
then I'll scrape that off. I will
But
enjoy
it's
the
still going to taste
cod,
like fish, so it's over.
soak it in tartar sauce, and I will give you all the breading and all the fries.
But I'm okay. I can get behind tartar sauce, just not with fish. Tartar sauce and French fries makes a good fry sauce.
I mean, the only purpose for French fries really is to scoop the tartar sauce out of the jar and put it in your mouth. So.
I won't argue that, but not sweet relish tartar sauce. That's a little weird to me.
No.
Dill relish tartar sauce. You need the tangy. You need the tangy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A good reason to go to Ivar's is because of the tartar sauce.
Is Bruce going live? I'm saying, okay, Bruce, go. Is that true? Oh my gosh. If it is, I'll try. I don't know how to forward people yet. We've got research to do here in the cubbyhole, folks. I don't know how to forward people to an active stream yet. I'm sure there's a way. Is it the referral link? See, no, that's no.
Yep. So, yeah, IB0093, thank you. It is much, I thoroughly enjoy this rather than losing my fucking mind over watching old church videos that Echoes loves to torture me after way too much bourbon on my nose. The much better.
I did not, the bourbon is not my fault, sir.
It is because you invited me to the stream and I had to put up with this bullshit.
I was not regulating your intake. That's all on you. That's a you problem.
No, this is your fault because you forced me to watch that fucking video leading up to all of it, which caused me to drink.
No, you were drinking before that, let's be fair. You just kept drinking after that.
Just a little. But then this just perpetuated it into oblivion. So
I'm getting Twitter notifications that, who is it? Seeking Justice. I'm trying to look on my watch. Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens has mentioned that Law Tabernacle is close to 1K subscribers. Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you, Clayton's Justice, for the shout out on the Twitters. And I'm still calling it Twitter. I don't care what they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't go live. Yeah, I mean, it's a school night for many of us. So I think this is kind of wrapping it up for us.
Unless my first school night in a while.
Ramble on about something else that just happens to entertain people. But I don't know what that would be.
You are. If you spin up another old Mormon video, I swear to God, I'm hitting the big red X button.
I do want your reaction on the ex-Mormons versus the active Mormons Jubilee episode. I definitely want your reaction on that one. I don't know how we're gonna spring that one because they go at it, and if I were to actually pay for the Patreon one, we could get the whole big unedited thing where they have 5 or 10 minutes of extra content. Of
how much
people
is that?
going at each other's throat? I don't know. I'll look it up. Or they might have released it fully by now because it's a good year old by now.
Well, I mean,
and some of the closeted homos that married women so that they can stay active in Mormonism. That alone. I was going to do 5 episodes on that guy alone, and I just didn't do it.
Oh, well, I think maybe we need to do that because I swear to God I would lose my fucking pickles at that point. But thank you for whoever said that. That was
and
delightful.
If it's not bad enough, he was in a gay relationship. Then he became active Mormon. He had some sort of external, maybe a brother or father and or both. And then some evangelical parts in his immediate family. So he's kind of in a religious tug of war in the family. But he broke away from the family, had a relationship with a boyfriend, got talked back into being LDS, I think by the brother, who's like, well, you really need to marry a woman because that's the right thing to do. So that's what he did. He disavowed being the gay lifestyle was how he phrased it. And then he goes on to say, but I've chosen the right path. And he's a North Star flunk out.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And started his own thing in Rexburg, Idaho. That's North Star adjacent. There's a lot to talk about with him. And he's got the weirdest of names. Timber Harwood. Timber! And
it's something like you would hear from where I was when I took this photo, but yeah, okay.
And his co-panelists are and I'm just going to be honest about, because this is how they represent themselves in their own platforms, are far right Mormon content creators. They're very conservative. They are very Orthodox Mormon, and they kind of pat the token gay on their side on the back for doing the right thing and being married to a woman, even though he still admits he's still gay. But he just doesn't act on those feelings. And I think he's popped out a kid or two with this poor woman.
Ugh. Well, I feel the
there's
most sorry for the kid and for the
there.
woman, but yes.
There's a lot we could cover there. What was the other one I wanted to have you look at? There was another one that I said yesterday, but now I can't remember what I said. It's probably in between looking at domiciles.
Probably,
Oh, well.
and the obnoxiously long and let down things, which the first one that we drove out to, that was entirely my fault.
Okay, well,
there were two
accidents happen.
properties that were out there that I completely botched the address. So you were stuck with me for 2 hours in the vehicle.
It was a bit of a drive out there for not much results.
You've tortured me with some videos on this channel before, so I figure it's your fair due, come up. So comeuppance.
How can I not make a comment in my own chat? Seriously?
Whoa, did you get self-modded?
I did.
Wow.
So my comment was, I support a moose after party. And then it says, YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means that it thinks it's spam. Tried changing it a bit. I can't even bring it up. Oh my God. We'll go after. Oh, okay. So South Florida flipped. Yeah. People like your stories. See, this is why we keep you around.
Yeah, well.
All right. Have we tortured ourselves enough? I don't think we need to say anything more about Stacy Lee. She's going to do what she's going to do.
Yep.
What we can do is say, okay, this isn't quite right, folks. Let's correct the record. And that's our opinion to be able to do that. That's our First Amendment. We can correct her.
The thing is the First Amendment doesn't support, people stating lies, right? You can sit there and say whatever you want to.
Sure.
But it's not freedom from consequences. That's not written into the First Amendment.
That point too.
He kind of does, because he's a dipshit.
We
David the
that.
dipshit. And so like
fucking douche canoe.
Yep, there's your two, right? You get your bonus. So basically, I'm a fan of being able to say whatever you want, but you
it's
don't.
douche canoe and pregnancy faker.
I might just hit all the buttons before we call it a night.
If you need to hit your quota, that's totally fine. But yeah, like that's not freedom from consequence. And if Stacy and dipshit and all of them want to say a bunch of shit that's false and fake, and they're going to get called out. And the people who, like yourself and these fine folk that I've gotten to know in the chat, are continuing to do the right thing and call out the truth.
Do the right things.
Yes,
we like doing the right things.
It's kind of it's a little Mormon-y, CTR-y sort of thing, but like still fucking do and talk about it in a rational way. Certainly, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And that does not preclude talking about the facts and the things that are presented there in plain sight. So there we go.
Benny the Dog 19. Why are Mormons so fascinating? Because we used to be them in a former life until we found our own authentic paths.
And Mormons used to style themselves as the peculiar people, so they sort of embraced this whole idea of being fascinating and weird and this, that, and the other. So
that just comes naturally to me.
Well. Same.
I wish it came with, losing 40 pounds naturally, but that's a different problem.
I mean, you've seen my piano roll collection.
Yes,
so
I know.
You're well aware of.
We're going to have to find you a much bigger house.
Depths of the batshit crazy that I can go down, but yeah.
Yeah.
That and accordions. I think we've talked about accordions on this channel before too, but whatever.
Well, at some point you're going to end up having to play an accordion on the channel, and I don't think there's going to be much escape for you for that. So you better start practicing something.
That's a different channel than Jeep
Daddy.
And
then you can drag Ray into it, and you can just commit him to everything. It could be a whole thing.
That's on you to convince him to get on a live stream.
I think
you
would make me pay him some sort of performance retainer.
And me too, probably.
So let's get that count up to at least 1,000 people so we can monetize this channel and have credentialed entertainment, licensed and credentialed entertainment here on the Cubbyhole.
Yes.
From
you too.
What? How am I going to do that? I have nothing
You
near
got
that.
you got some musical
Not
thingies
enough.
going on.
Maybe if I rebuild Studio A, we could do something from Studio A, but I don't know if I'm ready for that financial commitment yet. Not after what my car went through. Oh my God.
Well, that's true, but maybe I'm just going to
That went
show
out
up
the
and
window
force
when I
you.
had to pay for the car after that
Yeah.
bullshit.
Well, maybe I'm just going to show up and force you into it, because then you can't deny. I'm sitting right there with
There's
my
a guy
accordion.
with plates in the hat. What? The guy with the plates in the hat? Are we talking about Joseph Smith and the rocks in the hat? Close.
Dum 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 dum.
Oh, golden
wait,
plates. Yeah, that's true. But the plates weren't ever in a hat.
no, yeah, they weren't there.
We probably dare not digress into more Mormon things, or you're
Oh
gonna
Lord,
you're gonna hate me
we'll
forever.
we'll be here for another 2 hours.
You're gonna hate
so
me
we
forever.
probably ought to just like cut it where it is.
I wholly support subscribing from cats accounts. 100%.
Yes.
I'm a wannabe cat daddy. Well, I have been in the past, but we're currently childless. I don't know. Is that it? We both are. I mean, you have too.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm living vicariously through my friends and my
Yes, and
my family.
Yeah, support your shelters this winter, folks. If you're looking for pets, there's
Foster.
all kinds of
Seriously.
foster people.
We
all the
need
shelters.
fosters.
It's always a need. So that could be our cause. Hey, I found a cause for my channel: pet
Excellent.
adoption. Oh my God!
Yes.
Finally, I've been looking for something forever.
Well, there you go. Cats is always a worthy cause for a channel.
Yes, and I think Bruce would even subscribe to that because he has at least two. I think
I do
2 or
recall
3, maybe
when
Bruce. I don't know. There's
when we
cats.
strong armed Bruce to be on a live stream with us. I do recall there being a wandering a cat in the background.
I mean, even David Gingras has a cat. The poor thing.
I feel sorry for the cat, and it needs a rescue.
Need a cat intervention.
Yes.
You know, I almost since we're in this sort of after party mode, I was going to
Sure.
digress into when we were talking about pews, and David kind of brandishing them a little bit on his stream at one time, and admitting to having one in his car when he went to the courthouse that one time, and some other things, and making some threats to Dave Neal when he had, I think, an AR in the background. So it was very strategically placed.
Okay. Yeah.
And coupling that with the fact he's been he was convicted of one DUI. We think he might get convicted on a second DUI. That case hasn't finished yet, folks, as you most likely know. If any of you follow Hey Rob, and if you don't follow Hey Rob, he is doing nearly daily updates on all things related to Laura Owens, including David Gingras and the DUI stuff. So if you really want to drown yourself in troubles, subscribe to Rob too. Rob's a funny guy. He's a nice, loud Italian. I love it. And I'll bet he knows his way around a kitchen. Or if not, he knows people who do.
Could be very dangerous for my waistline.
See, I keep saying it. We need to have like the JFC potluck at the trial in Arizona. We need to get the event space. We just need to do the food things. And I think a good time would be had by all. And more than just cold brew and breadsticks or scones. I mean, that's great. That's good stuff. It's great for breakfast. Yeah. Although I think I heard there was salad at the last trial. There was salad and breadsticks, and there was something else. Someone said it the other day. It might have been Rob on Bruce's stream yesterday.
I mean, Olive Garden's not good for much other than like halfway decent, like passable wine, unlimited breadsticks, and unlimited salad. Like, what more does a guy need? Or a gal? What do we need?
Yeah, well, hopefully someone. I'm not a good activity coordinator, so it shouldn't be me. Maybe we should press gang Laura Knighty on her channel and make. She's gonna hate me. Have Lauren be the activity director. I mean, she held Quiplash sessions, so I mean, she's halfway there.
Yeah, that shows promise.
Between all of that, I think something could happen. It could be a fun time. Could be had by all, because if it's one trial with all of those felony indictments, it's going to last forever. It's going to be like a month or close. I can't
afford to stay in Arizona for a month.
And if it ends up being in the summer, and we know it's going to, we're quite certain it's going to move from January.
No,
now that there's a public defender assigned, he's got to get caught up. It's got to be past January when it's currently set for the hearing date.
when it is over 75 degrees in my
Oh God.
fair home
And it's
area,
that in the
I'm already
winter
fucking
time. It's like in
miserable.
the 80s in the winter down there on occasion. It's just,
No, yeah, no, and and the locals wear sweaters when it's like 80 or 90. I don't understand it. I'm gonna lose my fucking pickle again. But
well, it's like when Californians move up here and, oh my God, it's 80 degrees. I'm cold. I need a sweater. It's like, are you
the rest of us are
nuts?
just like, Jesus Christ, where's the air conditioning?
Oh, I know. Yeah, we're dying in it when it's over 72. We're just like, oh, I need a lemonade and I need air
Oh my
conditioning and it's
God.
70.
Yeah.
Such lightweights.
Yes.
Oh, anyhow.
Anyway, okay.
All right, folks, that's enough for this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening on your Sunday. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great Monday. Hopefully nothing exciting will happen over the next few days because let's not ruin our holidays with this stuff. But you never know. Laura Owens is unpredictable, as are we sometimes. But on that note, until next time, see you then.
See y'all later. Bye.